Hello friends, welcome back to lecture number 6 for Java programming. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the inheritance, and then we are going to discuss different types of inheritance in Java. For our OOP principle, we have seen that there are 4 important pillars or 4 important principles of object-oriented programming, and inheritance is one of the important principle of object-oriented programming as well. So inheritance is basically a concept in which we created kind of relationship. For example, we can say that car is a kind of vehicle. Okay, similarly we can say that airplane or bus, these are all kind of vehicles. Similarly we can say that at teacher, similarly engineer, basically they are the type of, or they are the kind of employees. So inheritance, we basically create kind of or type of relationship. Similarly, when we create the inheritance among the classes, the basic purpose is that we want to access the attribute of parent class in our child class. Okay, let's move toward the practical example. Before moving the example, here are some of the types of inheritance that is listed in Java. Java basically supports 3 main type of inheritance: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and third is the multiple inheritance. In this video we are going to discuss about 2 types, single and multi-level. We will discuss the multiple inheritance in our next video lecture. So first talk about the single inheritance, how it is implemented in Java. Similarly we see that how multi-level is implemented in Java programming. Single inheritance is in single inheritance we have just one child class, that is class B, that inherit attribute or functions from the parent class, that is class A. In multi-level we have a chain type of dependencies among the classes. For example, class C take attribute of class B, while class C take attributes of class A. Okay, so let's move toward the syntax. What keyword we have to use in our Java programming? In Java, basically inheritance is implemented through the keyword extend. Whatever our child class is, for example, our child class is class as bus, basically extends from vehicle. Similarly, class car extends from vehicle class. So vehicle is the base class, and car and bus are the drive classes here. Then in the body of that class we are going to list down the methods and field as well. Extend keyword basically support inheritance in Java. In order to implement the concept of inheritance, we are going to use Eclipse IDE. So this is the last example that we have created for the product class. So what you have to do for creating the inheritance, first I am going to implement the single inheritance, in which one class inherit the features of another class. So we have one base class and we have one drive class in single inheritance. So this is the product class, in which we have data members that we have already created, in which we have the constructor, and then we have the parameterized constructor, and we have display method, and then we have the object created in the main. So in order to create a single inheritance concept, we are going to create another class. So here I am going to create in my package a new class, and I am going to give it a name electronics. I am not going to add any main function because already it is created in our product class. So I am going to make it finish. So in our package there are now 2 different classes. First is the class product, and second is the electronic class. So this is our child class, and I want to create the inheritance between 2 classes. So I'm going to use the concept of extends. extends basically create the relationship of inheritance between child and parent class. So extend, which class we are going to extend? We are going to extend our child class from our parent class. So our parent class is product, so we are going to write it here, product. Okay, so we can say that this is the class body, and inside the class body we are going to write the code for our electronic class, that is our child class. And electronics is a type of product, or we can say that it is a kind of product, and we implement this kind of relationship through extend keyword in Java. Java export basically extend for creating the relationship among different classes. So in this electronic class, I'm going to set another attribute private int. For example, I'm going to create private string, and for electronic I am going to set another attribute, that is brand. And after setting the data member, I am going to make a constructor public. Our class name is electronics, and in this constructor we are going to in electronic, this is our parameterized constructor, and in this constructor basically we are going to set the values here. For this parameterized constructor, now there is one important thing here. As you can see that in product class we have int id and string name. For these two attributes, I want to now setting the electronic constructor, and in this constructor what I am going to list is I want to take for this child class electronics product also have the ID, and electronic products also have the name as well. So I want to access these two attributes from the product class, and similarly I want to add one additional attribute that is of the child class, that is brand. So in order to integrate these attributes in a parameterized constructor, we are going to set it, we are going to reference all the attributes in our child class, and from parent we have taken the integer ID, and from string name, these are two attributes from the parent. And what is the attribute here for the child class? That is a string brand. And in the constructor we are going to basically assign values to the these parameters. So I'm using this keyword, this points to the current instance. Okay, before assigning this keyword, I'm going to use this super keyword. Super basically is a keyword that super is a keyword that basically points to parent object, and here in constructor we are telling the child class electronics that we have taken these, we want to take these attributes from parent class, and for our electronic class we have extra attribute, that is the brand. So super class basically target and it tells the code that these attributes are from the parent class. So super basically points to the parent class, and here it is mentioned that these attribute, that is the super, it will take ID and it will take name from the parent class. Further, the third attribute, that is of the child class electronic, we are going to assign it by using this keyword, this dot brand equals to brand here. Okay, so this is the way how you are going to set your child class constructor. And here you can see that this is the parent class constructor, that is the product is our parent class and electronic is our child class. One more thing that we need to add it here, we need to print these values. So we have one function in our product class, that is display, and display basically prints product ID, product name. So for the electronic class we are again using the this method, public void display method, and for display method we are going to print the value of basically we are going to print the value of brand. So and then we are going to print brand of product is, and then we concatenate that value with the plus sign. And third, one important thing is that basically this display prints this brand value, but every electronic product have the ID and name, so we want to print these values as well. So how this function is going to be inherited? Now in this case we inform the display function that first you have to call the display of the product class, and in product class you can see that this is the function for the display. So first we want to display this superclass function that will print ID and name, and then we call child class display function that will print the brand value. So in order to integrate all these values, we are going to again use super keyword that is used for the display. Here we inform that first super dot display. So this is the syntax how display of the parent class is called first. That will print these value ID and name, and then this display for the child class is called, and it will print the value of the brand. So this is the structure how we have inherited two classes, product and electronics. And what about the main? I'm going to create the main of in the product class, as already we have the main function in the product class. Here I'm not going to create the object of the product class, because in inheritance the basic concept is that child class take the attribute of the parent class. Okay, so we are going to create the object of child class here, and our child class is the electronics. And we are going to create the electronics, and then we are going to create the object laptop equals to new and here this is the parameterized constructor. So we are going to add the attribute here. We have three attributes now. We have the product ID, that is 101, then we have the product name, that is laptop, and then we have the third attribute, that is the brand, and here we have the brand of Dell. So this is the parameterized constructor for the product laptop, and we have created the object of the child class, that is the electronics. So first child class object is called, and these parameters are basically assigned to this drive class constructor. Int ID 101, string name laptop, and brand is the basically Dell. So first it as it assign the values, and as it create the object of the child class, Then after assigning the attribute, it will first see the super keyword, and super basically points to the product class, and here it will basically print the values of the attribute. Here super will print the id and name as well. And then we have the this dot brand, basically assign values for the brand here. And in the display function, we can see that first the display of super parent is called, and then the display of child is called. So after assigning the values to the parameterized constructor, we are going to call the function. Now with the help of laptop dot display, with the help of this object that we have named the laptop, and with this product we are going to call the display method. And as you execute it, you can see that first product ID is 101, then product name is laptop, and then brand of the product is that. So this is the way how single inheritance work in Java. In single inheritance, we have one product and one electronic class. Okay, now we want to implement the concept of multi-level inheritance. So I'm basically extended this same product code, and this is the hierarchy. In multi-level, we have class C that depend on class B, and we have class B that depend upon the class A. For example, we have the for our class A we have the product class, for class B we have the electronic class, and now we want to add one more class, for example smartphone, smartwatch. For example, smartwatch is the class C. So smartwatch basically extend the electronic class, and electronic class basically extend the product class. So this is the hierarchy in which multi-level inheritance work. So I'm moving toward the code in order to implement the multi-level inheritance concept. I'm taking the same example. I have added class A, that is the product. I have my electronic class, that is the class B. Now I want to add one more class, that is the smartwatch. So in the package, I am going to create a new class, that is new, and then I am going to create the class, and I am going to write it a name smartwatch. I'm not going to add any main function because I'm utilizing the same main method of my parent class. Just I'm finishing the class. This is the smartwatch, and now in this case smartwatch basically extends. In order to create the inheritance, we are going to use the keyword of extend. Extends what? Basically smartwatch is a type of electronic product, so we are going to extend this class C from class B, that is the electronics. So this is the way how your class is going to be inherited with the other class. So this class basically extend another class. For this class I am going to assign the basically I am going to assign the attribute values. So I'm adding one attribute of the class C, that is the smartwatch. I am making an attribute as a boolean value, and that is private. For example, smartwatch has a GPS. Okay, has GPS or not, this is the basically additional attribute of the smartwatch as a electronic product. And similarly I'm going to set the constructor of my I'm going to set constructor for the I'm going to basically set the constructor of smartwatch class. So this is the smartwatch constructor, same name with the class public smartwatch here. Now I am going to give values to the smartwatch. So what are the parameters that I am going to set here? Basically these are the parameters that is going to be set here. And for the smartwatch I am going to set four different parameters. First, I take product ID, product name. Then from electronic class I am going to take brand, and the personal attribute of the smartwatch is the GPS. So here I am going to in parameters I am going to add four attribute: int ID, and then a string name of the product, then again string brand, and fourth attribute is the personal attribute, that is the boolean has GPS. Okay, so here I am going to assign these values. Okay, similarly, like single inheritance, in multi-level inheritance we have to use the keyword super, and in this time we are going to use super keyword that target the parent class. Okay, so it will target electronic class at this time, because the electronic vehicle now call smartwatch now basically points to electronic vehicle, electronic class, and electronic class basically call the product class. So in super class we are going to add these different attributes. We are going to mention the ID, we are going to mention the name, and we are going to mention the brand. These are the attributes that are taken from the parent classes. And we have the hierarchy here. Now we have the three different classes. Product have the ID name, electronic have the brand, and smartwatch have by itself as the GPS. Personal attribute is the GPS, and these are the attribute that is taken from the parent classes. Okay, so this, and after this we are going to set its personal attribute, that this dot has CGPS. We are going to assign the value as this has CGPS, that is true. Okay, after this we are going to create the display method, because we want to display the values from the constructor. We are going to display we are going to use the display, and same method in display method we just want to call the display of super first, and then we want to create the display of another class as well. So super of the display electronic is called first, and this display will call the display of product class. So this is the hierarchy, that with the help of super class it will create method to parent classes. After calling this display, we inform it that after display it will display the value of brand. It will print the value of its personal attribute, that is has GPS. So our watch GPS, so it will display the value of it will display the value of this attribute, that is has CGPS. Okay, so this is the way how you display method works. Now we are going to save it. After saving this, now another thing that we need to do is we need to add the one additional main method, and in main method of the product class, now this is basically first this we are going to print the message system.out.print. This is an example of single level inheritance. Now in other example, after calling this method, we can say that this is an example of multi-level inheritance. So for the multi-level inheritance, how I am going to create the object. So in this case, the object of which class is going to be called first? The object of smartwatch, because we have created this kind of inheritance. Class C, that is basically class C is our smartwatch, class B is our electronic, and class A is our product. So in this way, first the child class object is created. So in this hierarchy, the most recently child class is class C. So I am going to create the object of class smartwatch here. Okay, so first I am going to create the for implementing the multi-level inheritance, I am going to create the smartwatch object, smartwatch, and I am going to give the name smartwatch equals to new smart watch, and in this smartwatch I am going to give parameters. So for the our parameters are, for the smartwatch, for example, smartwatch ID is 102, and second attribute smartwatch name, and third attribute is of smartwatch ID, smartwatch name, and third attribute is the that is basically what, that is name, and then its brand. Okay, so we are going to print the value of the smartwatch name, that is the smartwatch. For example, I'm going to give the smartwatch name Apple, and then we are going to give another parameter, that is name and brand, and then smartwatch series 9, and then I'm going to print the value of has CGPS, yes, that is true. So in this way I'm going to set the parameter of my smartwatch constructor. Then I am going to call the display method, watch.display. So in this example we have implemented first this for the single inheritance, and for the multi-level inheritance we have created this smartwatch object. So as I am going to execute it, so you can see that first this is an example of single inheritance. Product ID is 101, product name is one laptop, and brand of the product is Dell. This work for the single level inheritance. And second, this is an example of multi-level inheritance, in which product ID is 102, product name is Apple, and the brand of the product is Series 9, and our watch has GPS, yes, that is true. So this is the way how your multi-level inheritance works in Java. So this is all about the types of inheritance, how Java support single inheritance, multiple inheritance, and in next lecture we are going to discuss multiple inheritance.